my laptop, on the home screen of my laptop, oh, it's gone now. On the home screen of my laptop, there was a picture of some teeth. But yeah, we're back today to play this very crazy game, which is called the Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker, which is created by none other than Wales Interactive. This game is a mindfuck. This game is a what you would call a psychological game that makes you think. You have to try and solve a murder, and it's pretty hard to try and solve. Also, I'm sorry that I'm late. My food ended up taking later than usual, so I had to eat my food. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't think these guys are going to want to hear me chomping on my food for like 10-15 minutes, especially when the camera is like, that's how far the camera is. So all you're going to hear is for about 10-20 minutes. So I thought, yeah, let me just eat my food quickly, and then I will jump into the stream. So far, it says that we have used 6 hints. Overall progress is 46%. Act progress is 31%. We have found 51 out of the 271 responses, and searches made have been 403 in total. So if you're wondering what sort of game is this game is called a FMV, which is a full movie video or full movie video game, which is basically when people act out scenes and you are essentially picking options that change the scenes that you see, so you are leading the narrative of the story. It's pretty cool. I've played other games by Wales Interactive that are of the same type of game, such as the Late Room and the Complex. Out of them two, my favourite was the Complex. The Late Room is another one that I've got to go back and I've got 100% it, because there's several different endings in order to complete that game. This is another game along the same lines, created by the same company. They've got, I think, 7 or maybe 8 of these games, and obviously I'm in Wales, so I thought it was pretty befitting for us to play these games. They're normally on sale on the store as well. They don't really cost too much. I got this one for £4, I think. There's a couple other ones that are up on the store right now, and they're like £4 or £5, so yeah, go and check it out. But without further ado, let's get back into this and see where this craziness suits us to go. But anyways, actually no, before I do that, I'm going to share this about. So, share this on my Twitter. Yeah. Okay, let me put this in the Discord as well. But yeah, this game is made for you to complete it for about 5-6 times. It's one of my favourite FMV games. Actually, no, I would say my favourite is Erica to this day, because that was weird. That was weird, but that was a game where I actually went online and researched the company, researched the lore, and proper like tried to find out what the actual message of that game was, because it just boggled my head so much. Right, anyways, let me share this on my Discord. So let's just send that live. Let's continue.
Midnight each day.
On Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home.
David is my husband.
All on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death.
When I'm dancing,
You get this day over and over.
Hilda.
I black out.
I don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just...
Naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
David Hunt,
I can change my skin.
then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't
He
I?
was preoccupied with finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
I
didn't
really
weigh
don't
enough
know what
to
to
have
make
a
of this
body
game,
in.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pickling my head. Right. I can't ask Bryce any
I'm
more
fine.
questions.
I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address. I don't know why you'd want it. I suppose you're going to start doing home visits now, like Dr. Dekker? Doctor, if you don't want it, don't text me and ask for it. It's all right. I don't mind doing menial tasks for you. Someone has to do them. I think that's all settled now. We are agreeing to pay Ben £5,000 and he's agreeing not to say anything about what he saw. Grief is such a strange word if you keep saying it. Grief, grief, grief. It sounds like somebody's being whipped. And you're going to ask me how I feel today? He thought he saw a creature coming out of Dr. Dekker's mouth. Well, at least that's the reason he's given for not emptying the bins that night. Either way, it's not the kind of publicity that we need. Shiny, happy, sane people.
This doesn't make any sense, right? If you're, I don't know, a psychiatrist or whatever this guy is, a shrinker or whatever, you're not going to be worried about a cleaner saying that, oh, he's seen some weird beasts coming out of the doctor's mouth. You just say, well, that guy is clearly nuts, or you would fire him off. You wouldn't pay him £5,000 to keep himself quiet. There's something more going on here.
He talked to me a bit. It's been bothering me, but I think I should share it. My key card went missing on Valentine's Day and Nathan had it. Well, he gave it back to me in the morning, said he'd found it on the floor of the office, but I don't drop things, Doctor, not key cards. I checked the access log and it was used at 10:05 on Valentine's night. I guess it doesn't prove he used it, but somebody did. Some mornings I come into work and still expect him to be here. Sometimes it feels like he actually is here, watching over me. We had a connection. It's gone now, though. You can't have a connection with the dead, can you? Not for too long, anyway.
What do you mean not for too long?
Dr. Dekker asked me to have dinner with him for Valentine's. I refused, obviously, because you don't sleep where you eat or something like that. But it was flattering, especially with competition like Mariana around.
Competition? This woman sounds like she was deeply in love with him.
Sorry, I didn't mean I was competing. I was happy Mariana was going out with him. I didn't want to be romantic with him. We had a stronger connection than that. Dr. Dekker and I shared some philosophy. We'd both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and we agreed with a lot of what it said. Have you read that book, Doctor? I was at home on my lonesome, Doctor, like I said before. I haven't mentioned it to the police yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Why would you still be thinking about it?
In Cult of the Kinetic Mind, the author suggests that everyone is capable of psychokinesis and that the cult leaders specifically had these powers that turned their followers into disciples. It's not a fun read, but if you're into psychology, it's a blast. It's in that police report that I gave to you. You should really take a look at it. Yes, Dr. Dekker started doing home visits for Mariana. He said she couldn't concentrate properly in his office. I hope you're not thinking of doing the same thing. I need you right where I can see you. Checks and balances, Doctor. Somebody needs to be watching the watchman, so to speak. Make sure you're helping, not hindering. He probably did his fair share of helping and hindering. He was definitely helping in the beginning, but then seemed to lose sight of things. I think he was so overwhelmed by the patients he was getting. His curiosity just got the better of him. There was a definite turning point.
I wonder when this definite turning point was.
Somewhere around the time Professor Alderby turned up, that seemed to unsettle him. And then we had a flood of extra weird patients. I think it was all too much for him. I think I misjudged him. I hope you deal with it better. No, not at all in my experience. Dr. Dekker had an unusual number of patients who claimed psychokinesis. Either he'd been specifically looking for them or someone had been sending them. It's entirely possible that someone is targeting this practice with psychokinetic patients. To what end, I don't know. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic
There's
patients
something
are
very
diagnosed as
suspect
insane,
about
or at
her
least
and the things that she's
temporarily
talking about, especially her
insane.
mannerisms.
It's a handy diagnosis if you're facing criminal prosecution, especially if it's for murder.
She can't stay still.
Psychokinesis is the ability to change the physical world without actually touching it, just by using your mind. It's not just about bending spoons. It covers all sorts of things like telepathy, telekinesis, telesabalas. Shoot me, I'm a Kojak fan. Like I said, all those cool things are in Cult of the Kinetic Mind, apart from Kojak, obviously. If you ever get a patient who thinks they can change the world with just their mind, then duck. Just in case they can. But seriously, do a whole load of shrinking and make them better. Whether you believe in psychokinesis or not, you'll need to figure out your approach with those that do. How do you make people who think they have special powers better? Do you remain passive and support, encourage them, take them away? That's what I'd try to do. Oops, that was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? Whipped. Am I all whips and chains in the bedroom or dominant in the boardroom? Don't answer that, it's not a question. It's early days for a harassment suit yet, what with Ben's nervous shock already. Honestly, I think Dr. Dekker had a bit of a crush on Mariana, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. There's some footage from their home sessions if you want to see them. It was a joke, Doctor. I guess we found our level. Dr. Dekker did send me to see his mother once. She was dying in a nursing home and he didn't want to see her. I remember him calling her a manipulative, evil old hag. You tend not to ask any more questions after that.
Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker? Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then?
Why are you looking?
Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories. Do you really want to know? Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment.
Experiment?
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor? Quantum suicide is a thought experiment that tries to explain the many worlds theory. You're looking at me blankly. I can see that you don't understand. I knew you wouldn't. Alternate universes. Essentially, if I were to shoot myself, then in some alternate universe, I'd still be alive. Now imagine if I could actually choose that universe. I'm taking a product off a supermarket shelf. Well, I simply applied that logic to something different. Gambling. I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at the roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter. Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So I simply upped the stakes. Now, every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. For a while. Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back.
You're blaming the doctor for your gambling addiction.
Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. But Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox.
Hangman's paradox.
Honestly? Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science. Almost as if he'd have preferred chaos. Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week. But it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed? Why not gambling? My wife, Vanessa, left me for a neurosurgeon. She emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution. We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed.
Champions Edition 2.
Part of me always thought one
Championship
day
Edition 2.
I'd achieve immortality through science. It wasn't to be, though. Well, yes, it bothered me. Especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline. But I'm not a killer, it would seem.
Sounds like you're very much thinking about it.
Well, Monday does seem likely, yes. Because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then Tuesday won't be a surprise. But if you're sure that it's Monday, then that won't be a surprise either, will it? Dekker tricked me. Now, he told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me. I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mindstretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go. Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. That smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now? It's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though. Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there. I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen.
$1875, Dr. Dekker. They're not in 1875. Right, crime report summary, case number 221184, date the 14th of February 2017, title, Doctor, first name, last name, Dekker. Position of victim, the victim was located in his office, seated on a chair behind the desk, soaked in blood with an obvious chest wound, possible murder weapon, paper, spike, desk accessory, 150mm long, protruding from the approximate region of the victim's heart. Coroner's initial findings. Time of death estimated from liver temperature measurement to between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. on the 14th of the 2nd, 2017. Note the victim's body was reportedly discovered at 10:20 p.m. on the 14th of the 2nd, 2017. Exsanguination due to puncturation of the left anterior descending corner. Can I see any more of this? No? Okay, that's all I get to see. Statement of Christian Weber, police officer 7691. To best of my knowledge, this statement is true. To understand, I may be prosecuted if I have stated anything that I know to be untrue. At 8:40 hours on Tuesday, the 8th of November, myself, PC 9725 Hope, responded to a call received from a neighbour
of the Boa House, Western Park Avenue, concerning a reported disturbance. We arrived at the address and knocked on the front door. There was no reply. Then we examined the rear of the property and gained entry through insecure patio doors. So somebody clearly must have broke in. We entered the property through this door and I announced myself by shouting police, but did not hear any response. We searched the premises. Upon entering the dining room, I saw a female seated next to me, next to a man who was lying on the ground. The man did not appear to be conscious. Both persons were drenched in blood, and there was a substantial amount of blood on the carpet, walls, and furniture. I noted what appeared to be a steak knife on the floor, which was also covered in blood. At this point, I asked the woman to put her hands on her head, which she did. Paisley Holt secured the female. I checked the man for signs of life and found none. I asked the woman her name, and she identified herself to me as Claire Castleford. I asked her if she knew the dead man. She said he was her husband, David Castleford. I asked what happened, and she said that she killed him. Following a search by Paisley Holt, which revealed no other persons present at the house, I said to Castleford at 8:52 hours, "You're under arrest on suspicion of murder." I then cautioned her and placed her in the back of a police car for transport to Western Park Police Station. Shout out to Howard. What's good, bro? If you're enjoying the video, leave a like on the video. So the keywords are neighbor, blood, steak knife, dead man, husband, murder. So this is about Claire, and this was dated on the 9th of November. To whom it may concern, please accept this letter as notice of my intention to resign from my position. Just a D for... Very strange.
A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want a talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration. Quantum gambling. It's a pet project. It's got nothing to do with work. But if I don't have significant amounts of money to lose, then there won't be enough jeopardy for the experiment to work.
This guy has
The
a
Ministry of
gambling
Defense, of
addiction,
course.
thinks by using
Guns
science
aren't
he can
going to win the
somehow
next
stop it.
war. Quantum physics is. They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer? Splendid. I can't lose, Doctor. Let me demonstrate.
What the hell just
I've
happened?
told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy. I started out with depression. Now I seem to repeat days. Even if you don't believe the repeat days, then I clearly have extra mental health problems that he's given me. I think that he possibly cursed other people, a bit like he cursed me. Sometimes you could see he was bursting to tell me about it, but he couldn't. He was ecstatic with power.
There is something
Curse.
very strange
Well,
going on with this guy and
I was
these
hoping you'd
patients.
forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
Yeah, but
I
you're
didn't
not
want
going
to
to get
believe
over
him.
grief unless you come
I
to
remember I
terms with it
said,
and
you
deal
can't
with
just say things and they happen. He laughed and laughed. I think he was going mad. He said he'd give me a demonstration. He held his hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. There was no flame, and then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand that had come out of nowhere. And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it. I didn't forget seeing the flame. He wanted me to forget it all, but I didn't. For whatever reason, he couldn't undo what he'd done. I was scared. I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
This is becoming weirder and weirder.
He'd become bored of me, so I got much of my insight from calls or messages he'd take during our sessions. I think because he hypnotized me, he didn't want to play with me anymore, so I got basic therapist. I was scared what Dr. Dekker would do to me if he found out I still knew, so I had to play along, keep coming to the sessions, pretend I hadn't seen what he'd done. It was awful, because I was suffering through the same days over and over again, but I couldn't talk to him about it, because he'd know. I burned the photos of Hannah. It didn't work. I suppose because the loss was superficial. The next thing I burned was the rocking chair. That worked. I've been getting rid of her stuff ever since. There was a day when I attacked a Salvation Army bin, but I gave in.
You attacked the Salvation Army?
I accidentally put Hannah's diary into a Salvation Army donation bin. They're like huge post boxes with a circular tray that makes sure things spill to the bottom. I tried to get in to get it back, but I gave up. I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me, that she was going to break off the engagement, that she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it. I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long. I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it. Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver.
That's horrible.
I remember the spike. It was very sharp. Dekker used to fool around with it during the sessions, but I mostly just kept my head down. Most of the time it paid not to look at what he was doing. Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? And thanks for the dating advice, by the way. I signed up for a dating website. It's a bit easy, to be honest. If I message something they don't like, I change it when the day replays. It's not very honest. If I'm being honest, I'd probably rather ask out one of the patients I've seen here. The friendly redhead with the accent. He told me lots of people get depression, to become more active, see more people. And although he wouldn't always be there to listen, Jaya would be. Yeah, I talked to her quite a lot. I'm not sure how many days of that she'd remember. She seemed to care, which is more I can say for Dekker. When you live life as I do, you don't really know what has happened and what hasn't anymore. Sometimes I do things and I repeat the day so they're undone. I've done some things I'm not proud of, but none of it usually sticks. Dekker was a dangerous person. I'm glad he's dead, You'll get no glowing references from me.
Dr. Dekker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money. I actually don't have a lot of money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Dekker would be okay with it. Oh, my checks are fine though, don't worry. I'm not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with not paying at restaurants. Isn't that how it is for everybody? I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget.
He'd be loving this. This is his girl.
Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different. The lights are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention. Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me wherever I go. It's creepy. I don't want everyone seeing that. They follow me wherever I go. Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor? It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear. I don't see them again. They don't just disappear into thin air. I think they return to the place I found them. But I've not run into the same person twice. You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a light. Deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing, like a beacon. And when I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing. Like a welcoming sun. Like I'm home. And then I wake up.
She has got mad trauma. Mad trauma.
It's so beautiful. Calls me. It's like I'm in a trance. What does the dream mean, Doctor? I guess. I hate being in the same place for too long. Maybe I'm always searching for paradise or something. I've had no blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today. Do you want to come with me to the beach? Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day. Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day. still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor. Dr. Dekker suggested home visits. I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor? I can't afford any more sessions, so it sounds like you'll be paying. That's a date, isn't it, Doctor? I'm not sure that's appropriate. It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink. I'm a very good-natured girl.
Right, just got a trophy called Committed, which is a silver trophy.
Yes, they follow me home. They're silent. It's like a trance. There was one guy, a real gym body. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing. Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me. It was creepy. I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door. Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor? Okay, then.
It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike. Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin. At this bit, here, between his thumb and his finger. He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood, being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any. I'm fine. Work's fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's Terry. Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore. I gave it back. All of it. Every single keepsake. Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes back. Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well. Not her usual self. Maybe she's got a bug or something. Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either. Although, she did give me a vicious scratch yesterday. You told me to. Well, not in so many words, but you said I shouldn't have kept them. And what with Terry going around telling everyone I stole them, I didn't feel like I really had any choice. The locket, the watch, the ring. But I kept the little bird Sarah Dekker gave me. I wasn't supposed to mention her. Dr. Dekker's mother. She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago. I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real. It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds. It's hard, you know? I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left. You know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better? Seriously? No, that isn't what I meant. That's the plan. I know, it sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now. Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them? Can you picture them? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I don't think it's gonna work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not gonna die anytime soon. It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, "It's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum," or "I love you, Dad." But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but it's got to be better than the reality. Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace? Tell me honestly, Doctor, do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong? Dr. Dekker gave me the paper spike to try. It wasn't fake. It was pretty sharp, actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't. So you're saying I should let Hilda die without seeing her daughter one last time? I don't know if I could do that, Doctor. I'd be letting her down. I'd have to think about it. As far as I know, it only works on people who are close to death. That's the whole point of it. I have to hold their hand, and they have to think of the person, and they have to be near death. And those seem to be the 3 criteria. It just makes things complicated, doesn't it? I knew Dr. Dekker's mother before I started seeing Dr. Dekker. She's dead, and now he's dead. I'm sure you're going to have a field day with it.
Dr. Dekker's mother?
Yeah, that's the reason I came to see him. I knew she was dying, but he refused to talk to me unless I booked a session, so I did. And well, here we are.
So why are you still here then?
I told Dr. Dekker that his mum was
I
dying.
just remembered the meaning of
that he
shut now.
should see her before it's too late.
Did you? Well done.
But he wasn't
How's
interested.
the bridge coming along? I'm still waiting.
It wasn't like he hated her. It was just like it wasn't important. He asked me to take care
You should
of
be
it.
learning hard right
He
now.
did send his assistant along to see her once. Sorry, your assistant.
I just got a trophy called part-timer. Silver trophy. Nice.
It was about the second, third session we had. He said he could tell that I was a good person, that I wanted to help people, and that I should think really hard
Still
about how I
building.
could do that. That's how I discovered shifting.
You got 2 days.
All Dr. Dekker did was encourage me to think. But the shifting, that's all me. And my mum's a psychic, and my sister's an empath, but I was just ordinary. I always felt like I wasn't special, like I was missing out. But I wasn't. I just hadn't discovered what I could do yet. Sarah Dekker was one of the first ones I tried shifting for.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
To tell you the truth, I don't really know what an empath is. I should probably Google it
You got any more
sometime.
lessons for the day?
My mum's got these spirit guides and they tell her things. Mostly about my love life, it would seem. I didn't really know what I was doing that first time. I mean, I didn't actually expect anything to happen. I just thought, what would really help this woman? I thought maybe she would just imagine that he was there. But it actually happened. I changed into him. Dr. Dekker. It blew my mind.
What time's your lesson till? How much was this game? $3.99?
You can stop looking at me like that. You've made me do this. And don't try and escape. You're all tied up. Now tell me the truth. Is this a dream? That's a good doctor. Yes, it's all a big dream. So let's get down to business. Do you believe that people can have kinetic powers? And how do we treat people with kinetic powers? Do we encourage them or do we discourage them? Oh, Doctor, how disappointing. We've been through this already. Encouraging them to use their power just makes them worse. That's what Dr. Dekker did. Look at him now. I thought you were different. Oh, I thought we'd get on, but I'm wrong. Enjoy your sleep, Doctor.
That was weird. Yeah, this game was £4. It's made by a company called Wales Interactive, which is a Welsh game developer. I've played other games by them. They've also got another game called The Late Shift, and they've got another game called The Complex. They've got a game called The Bunker. They've got quite a few games. But yeah, go check them out.
There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
It was Iris.
We could try shifting now.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Sorry.
We've both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind.
I'm not broke.
It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are
Grateful if you could see your way to declaring me
insane, or at least
temporarily insane.
There was no flame. And then there was.
I'll kiss a guy,
I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
and then he just follows me
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore?
wherever I go.
You may just still pull out in front of the driver.
Act 4. Dreams.
Morning, Doctor. You're looking a bit unwell. Are they getting you all wound up? Well, have a look at this. I found it in Dropbox. Apparently, Dr. Dekker lent Mariana some money. Sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I also got the toxicology report back from Officer Yates, and shocker, Dr. Dekker had... Sorry, you just have to read it. I should have spoiler alert tattooed on my forehead. And can we not do the grief counselling thing today? I'm all sorts of behind on work, and I'm getting more stressed out watching it all pile up. If you need anything, though, I'm here.
Regional Laboratory Services Toxicology Analyst. Report by J.M. Clausen, named Dr. Dekker, sex male, tox 639, middle school 1021. So he had ethanol positive inside his body, and benzodiazepine was positive for temazepam inside of his body. Everything else was negative. Why would he have that inside of him? Why would he be taking drugs? Loan agreement, £15,000. Arrangement fee, £1. Interest amount, 0. She's going to pay £1. Terms 36 months. Per signing this agreement, the borrower agrees to accept the sum of the loan amount and to repay the loan amount in full within the term stated, 36 months. The sum of the loan will be transferred by the lender into the account designated by the borrower within 14 days of signing the agreement. If it is agreed that the loan shall attract no interest in lieu to accruing interest, the lender has agreed to the payment of agreement fee which is due before transfer of the loan amount. The lender also agrees to consider the loan repayment in full should they die or become subject to any power of attorney agreement as the loan as its evidence occurs within the term of agreement. Lender signature and borrower signature, Mariana. The plot thickens. The plot thickens.
Some people would say Dr. Dekker had a bit of a drinking problem. It got worse and then it got better when his confidence turned up. I think it was the stress of dealing with the new patients. I like the odd tipple. I don't want to talk about grief today. I'm getting enough grief from work.
I know, right?
I've been known to drink, not as much at the moment, not as much as Dr. Dekker did. He kept at least one bottle in his desk drawer at all times. You can't imagine the amount of times I wanted to sneak in and have some. I suppose it's possible that somebody spiked his drink. Most people probably knew he had a bottle in his desk. Wouldn't have been that hard to empty out some capsules into it. Maybe the police should get fingerprints? I'll go and suggest it. Make sure nobody touches the bottle in the meantime. I don't know if you know, but Professor Alderby used to be my professor. He teaches history and psychology, amongst other things. I know it's not technically work, but he asked if I would allow him to have the video footage of his sessions with Dr. Dekker. Dr. Dekker wanted to be removed from all of the videos, so it's jump cut up to jump cut, but I'm sure you've already noticed that. I don't take sleeping tablets, never have. I'm not allowed to prescribe either. Dr. Dekker had me try to forge his signature once, but I was woeful. I didn't think you'd mind, since it wasn't your case anyway. Mostly it's the professor talking about how he viewed reality back then, in so much as he thought it was changeable. There's nothing else to do but watch while things are encoding. Psychokinetics, remember? Cult of the Kinetic Mind? Professor Alderby said it was recommended reading to help psychiatrists in their frontline battle with insanity, he likes to call it. Professor Alderby saw the relationship between psychiatrist and patient as a winnable battle. The patient must be cured by removing their psychokinetic ability, if present, either by telling them it doesn't exist or by using another
This woman is
psychokinetic
using
ability
words I
to
cannot
negate
even
it.
understand.
It's a long
even
time ago, I
fathom to
can't
begin
remember
to
all of
understand.
it. There was a specific example.
She definitely is Mrs. Big Brain.
If someone tells you they can fly, you tell them you control air currents and that from now on they won't be allowed to use them. This would normally stimulate the brain in such a way that the patient stopped thinking they could fly. The main danger as the therapist is believing that you can control air currents. The danger of pretending you have psychokinetic abilities is that you may start believing you have them and then have them. It's the paradox of the cure. Dr. Dekker loved paradoxes. His favorite was the grandfather paradox. If you can travel back in time and kill your grandfather, then you cannot be born. But if you cannot be born, then you cannot kill your grandfather. It's a time traveler's chicken and egg, if you will. There's a lot of stress in here. We're dealing with people's lives. How do you relax, Doctor? I bet you like dance music. I don't know why. I love video games. I just wish they'd make ones with stronger female protagonists. Sorry, I'd settle for any female protagonists. Mariana thought I played hockey. Whatever that's supposed to mean.
If you're that stupid and you would want to kill your grandfather, like, one, you've got to be pretty dumb to believe that you would actually go back in
my
time.
downfall.
Two, you've got to be
Stress
pretty
eating
stupid
is
to
the
actually
worst.
believe that by killing your grandfather you wouldn't exist, because I don't know. She's just mad. Mrs. Mad Theory.
Dr. Dekker told me he was adopted. His birth mother only turned up 5 years ago because she wanted money for her experimental cancer treatment. I'm not sure how much it cost or even if he had the money, but he didn't do it, and she became one mean mother. I have no idea. Maybe he was an undercover secret agent? Maybe he was getting more annoying as time progressed. You're not, though. You're lovely. Is this a good time to ask for a raise? Dr. Dekker definitely dabbled in that stuff. I'm not sure to what extent. I like Professor Alderby.
But the thing is,
he turned me onto that book I've been raving about. The Cult of the Kinetic Mind. I should start selling them myself. Wow, I was kidding, but thank you, Doctor. I'll take that as a yes. And don't worry, I'll sort it all out.
yeah, it's true. This woman seems like she's just out for some money.
Scarlett,
I haven't been in since he died. Since Dr. Dekker died. Scarlet. I haven't been in since. He was a complicated man, as I suppose most people are. His external persona didn't match what he dreamed about. His dreams were amazing.
How would you
Filled with a spectrum of colours and creatures. It was like Narnia for grown-ups. That was in the beginning. I'm a dream walker. I can visit people and help them in their dreams. You've not caught up on all his old patients yet, then? Fluid.
Typical 50-year-old woman trying to look 30 with them eyebrows,
Intricate
Jesus.
things.
Yeah, I
I
know.
couldn't draw a picture if you asked. But
She looks like the sort of
dream
person
to
that if she went to kiss you, she would probably rip
They
half
looked
your
a little
lips off with them.
strange, but you felt compelled
teeth.
to watch them.
She's got a proper like,
Hello, you right? I'm gonna look into your soul and look at your dreams. What are your dreams there, lad?
It's something I've been able to do since I was little. I was born an identical twin, and my sister and I shared dreams.
nah, you were born an identical
We just thought it was normal. When our younger brother started having night terrors, we helped him. I just need to know the person, a little, and know they're dreaming. Then I can sort of jump into them. Chaotic, dark. Like an earthquake, everything you stood on shifted into something else. I think he was fighting with something internally. And it was winning. I don't know. It's a turn of phrase. Inner demons? Insanity? I don't know. I can visit dreams, but I can't force the dreamer to interact with me.
get a restraining order to. Nah, you could build that bridge to another planet, and we can get a restraining order to Mars, so that we'd never have to see this monster again. She looks like something from Monsters Inc. fused with a human. Scary looking beast.
Valentine's Day was awful. I had a bit of an accident with a creme brulee torch and had to spend the night waiting in A&E. I melted a nail to my finger. It hurt a lot and needed stitches. It's all fine now, though. It's something, I think, in my mind. Firstly, I need to sleep myself. I'm constantly tired, so I can pretty much sleep on demand. Before I go, I think of jumping into that person. That's how it works for me. I've tried teaching others, but I don't know if anyone else can do it.
Just burn her face.
I don't know.
Just burn her.
Lots of people.
Just burn the whole office block.
Whenever I get close enough to tell somebody about it, the first thing they want to do is try it out or have me visit their dreams. That's kind of why I'm here. Relationships. It's difficult to sustain them. I'm not just talking about romantic entanglements. It's hard keeping friends, too. Like I said before, I tell them about my ability and they immediately want to try it out.
the problem is. I don't normally like what I see. He's dead now, so I suppose it won't affect him if I admit that. So yes, I was. Not near the end, though. Not when his dreams started changing. Like I said, my ability ruins relationships.
This woman just sounds mad.
Who told you? Jaya? Just thought she'd know. Thought she'd know everything about her precious Dr. Dekker. Sorry, we didn't speak that much. But she was a lot like the other woman. So much control over someone who was supposed to be her superior. I think people try to show off. Firstly, they're a bit shocked if I turn up in their dream. But when they're comfortable with that,
Man, if he's dated
they start to put on
I
a
feel
show.
bad for him. I know, right?
But most people
Yeah,
can't
but this guy
control
was
their
apparently
dreams.
like breathing fire
They tend
and
to
making
turn
people
into
believe
nightmares
like they could
quickly.
stop time and
Oh, look.
you know, they could bring the
He's
dead
dreaming
back
of
to
a
life.
giant
The guy just
Stay
sounds
Puft
like he was a
Marshmallow Man.
drunk who somehow ended up
Oh,
with a degree
why
as
is
being
it
a psychiatrist, and he
destroying
just
New
sat in his
York?
office all day just agreeing with all these crazy people, just like, yeah, you can fly, yeah, you can visit people's dreams,
When
yeah,
you've
you're fine. It's fine, just pay me by the hour and shut up.
someone's dream,
Where's the rum? That's pretty much what he was
if
doing all
they've
day.
been a bit creepy in it or terrified me,
He was just like, send the next patient.
it's hard to look someone in the eyes after that. It's embarrassing. What should I do, Doctor? Should I not tell people about my ability? Keep it a secret, bottle it up? I know, right? So if I tell them, what can I do to stop pushing people away? So if I could breathe through my ears, you wouldn't want to see it. I do say no. A lot. But I usually cave eventually.
I'm waiting for you to make this bridge so I can go.
It's difficult to do when you experience them like I do. But I know what you're saying is right. A lot of the time I assume people are controlling their dreams like I can. But they're probably directed by their subconscious, and who controls that? Double honest. Interesting. I suppose I haven't really tried that. I might just give that a go.
Sorry, I'm Glenn. I didn't expect to be here. I was looking for the men's room. Like I said, I was in the green room. You know, that new restaurant in town. I actually need to do something. Done. Sorry. I was in the middle of a date and needed the restroom, and here I am. Sorry. Sorry, you're not familiar with my case. I stepped through the restroom door into your office. Sometimes when I go through a door, it opens to another place.
Why am I looking at two different?
No, I shouldn't imagine she did that. I didn't even pass through the waiting room. Besides, it's lunchtime, she won't be there. No, not really. But it's lunchtime, and you don't normally see patients now. Well, Dr. Dekker didn't normally see patients now. Dr. Dekker was crazy. I arrived late to the party. Apparently, he was a fine, upstanding citizen before. I don't know what changed him. Of the few sessions I had with him, he'd observed me walking through doors. But I'd walk through a door and I'd disappear. And then I couldn't get back. The session was £150 either way, so I paid that for a couple of times and then decided it was a bad idea. As you can see, it's still happening. The doors. I'm still vanishing from one place to another. My dad died. He was on his deathbed and I was complaining about work, women or whatever. It was an idiom. He said, when one door closes, another opens. Then he died. I needed those words to be important. So here I am.
What?
He was stoic. He had tuberculosis in his lungs. That's what killed him. Nobody knew until the end. I never got to say I loved him. Yeah, maybe. He'd split with my mum 3 years earlier. It was messy. It was bad. I didn't talk to him really at all. They called me his next of kin, said I should come in if I wanted to say goodbye. I did love him. He just broke everything. No. I hadn't seen him for so long. I just let it all out. I screamed, I shouted, I punched the walls. Do you know what he said? Sorry. Over and over again. Like he really meant it. He did. He really meant it. And when I stopped, when I was exhausted, he smiled at me. Like he cherished me. Like he'd been waiting to say sorry. Waiting for forgiveness. I didn't get to. I didn't get to say I loved him. I didn't get to forgive him. He just said when one door closes, another opens. And then he died. What does he think of me?
Probably thinks you're useless, mate.
All those years, thinking I was the bigger man. It turns out he was. There's no going back, is there, Doctor? When one door closes, it's shut forever. How? How do I go back? Is this some kind of joke? Just because you don't believe what I'm saying doesn't mean you have to make up your own stuff. Guess I'm getting what I paid for with your advice. I hadn't thought of that. I've just been thinking when I open a door, it goes somewhere else in the present, not in the past. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. I'll try that. Now. I'll try that now.
This is weird.
What are you trying to do most? Cure his patients or find out who killed him?
Shout out to Nav, shout out to Lando. Shout out to Stanley, shout out to Strapnel.
I'm feeling good. I ran into one of your other patients, Mariana. She's beautiful. I think we might go on a date.
There you go, Naps.
What's temazepam? Why are you asking? I don't take sleeping pills. Never have done. When you suffer blackouts already, you don't really get offered anything like that.
She was just waiting for you.
I feel thirsty, Doctor. And hot. Do you have any water?
What is she
I've been
doing?
drinking a lot of water recently. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't go to the sea. I said I would, but I didn't. I've been feeling this way for a while. It's like it's getting worse because I didn't go to the sea. It's like I'm having...
Talk about the beach now. Has anyone else followed you? Did Dekker lend you money? Oh, I forgot to show you something. You haven't seen this because you just jumped in. Read this. This is what your chick's been doing. She got Dr. Dekker to lend her £15,000. Craziness.
Do you forget anything from our sessions, Doctor? People follow me to the beach. I don't know who they are, and I don't know what happens to them. I don't always get followed, though, so it doesn't explain my blackouts.
Nah, he's been dead since the start of the game, bro. So basically what happened is you've taken over his job as a psychiatrist, and you found out that obviously he was killed, and how he died, there's a paperweight that's on his desk, and it was basically pierced into his chest. But he went and gave her home visits. She made out like she was broke. He gave her £15,000. There's another woman that he's agreed to have being in a relationship with her, and Lando seen earlier on, and so did Stanley, that the other woman, she can like enter people's dreams, and that's the reason why she turned up here. There's another woman who's also here as well, who's here because she's friends with Dr. Dekker's mother. So this story is getting madly convoluted and very complex, bro.
He lent me some money to start my business. It was a proper agreement. I remember signing
Nah, she don't need to
things.
pay the money back.
He thought that a distraction would do me good. I don't think
they
he
said in that will,
expected me
innit, if they
to
die.
trawl the beach for treasure and sell it online.
Sorry, not in the will, in the loan agreement. She didn't have to pay nothing back, now he's dead. But yeah, a lot of
Dr.
madness is
Dekker
going
thought
on.
I had too much time on my hands, so a distraction would do me good. He lent me 15,000, all in all.
See, what sort of psychiatrist lends their patient 15,000 and goes and gives them home visits as well? And he also took her out on a date as well. They went drinking. So you tell me what's going on. That doesn't seem like to me. Lando got scared when I arrived. He probably did, bro.
I have this recurring dream. I'm at the beach. I strip and walk into the sea. The sea feels warm and comforting. Not cold and harsh like you'd think. I swim down to the bottom of the ocean. I can breathe freely. I can breathe water. On the ocean floor ahead of me, there's a beautiful creature. A glowing being with wispy limbs. It's so warm. I'm transfixed.
An octopus?
But my feet shift. I'm unsteady. Below me, the floor is woven in human flesh. Dead bodies, but some of them still struggling for life. These are the ones touching me, gripping my feet. I scream. That's when I wake up. Do you have that dream, Doctor? It's a dream, Doctor. Stranger things happen in dreams.
Must be the boogeyman. She'd been eating cheese before bed, giving herself bad nightmares. Told you, stop eating cheese
I've
before
seen
bed.
Dr.
love.
Dekker drink, but not that much. Certainly not during our sessions. He had other things on his mind, I'm sure. I said I don't know what happens to them. It's not always to the beach. Sometimes they follow me home.
Take me home, country road.
It's horrific and beautiful at the same time.
Dekker's really close to Mariana, even to lend her money. I know, right? Shout out to Jesse, how are you? If you're new here, don't forget to
My
leave a like on the
home is
video,
in
subscribe to
Chantry.
the
You
channel,
know that.
and
You
join
rang
to
my
the
doorbell
Discord.
last night. I don't feel well. I feel sick most of the time,
For your
dizzy,
information,
thirsty,
it's mine and
got a
Mariana's
head
blood.
fog like you wouldn't believe. My doctor, Dr. Rose, sent me for blood tests.
Hey, you ain't gonna be happy with what I've seen with who was it? Nathan and Bryce were talking about her in the stream earlier on. One of them said he
I
liked
don't
her
know.
hair. I know the one said like she had a beautiful
I
smile
didn't
or something.
kiss
I was
you,
like, I even said it goes,
but
oh,
you
Nath's
just
not gonna be happy.
followed me, like the others. I don't feel comfortable here, Doctor. I'd like to leave. Dr. Rose thinks maybe I have a vitamin deficiency. I can tell she has no idea. She smiles, but she hasn't got any answers. I think I probably need to go back to the beach. The sea, Doctor. It's calling me.
This is about a murder. So the guy that you're playing as has replaced the doctor who used to be the psychiatrist of all of these people who have all of these different problems. You're talking to them to try and work out who killed the doctor.
This sounds crazy, but I can hear the sea. It's like an alarm going off in my head. Do you know where the sea is? From here?
Always, that's why I play
It's
these
over
games.
there. Wherever I am, I know
Nah, I just wanted something fun and
exactly
inventive
where the sea is.
for you guys to watch on my channel.
It's
I
like
don't
a
like
compass.
doing what everybody else does all the time. I try and do different sort of gameplay to, you know, show that
I hear
we
a
like to
sound
show a
like
different type of
singing,
gameplay, as well as
calling me.
FPSs, racing
It
games,
gets stronger when
fighting
I
games,
face it, when I
strategy
move
games,
towards it.
puzzle
That's
games,
how I know where the sea is.
multiplayer games.
But when I don't go to the
RPGs, so on
sea,
and so
I feel
forth.
like the sound gets louder all the
Yeah, man,
time.
big shout out to Wales Interactive. They really
I'm
are
having
putting
trouble
themselves on the map
sleeping.
with these FMV games. They're putting a lot of effort for these
Perhaps I
games,
need
and they're
sleeping
cheap as
tablets
well,
after all.
as I've been showing you. They're not even like 20-30 quid, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I do like the Telltale
It's a
series games as
referral
well.
letter,
How they
Doctor?
tell them,
Don't overthink it.
how the stories lead.
A girl can't be too careful with everything that's been going on. If you say so, it must have been your twin then. I don't know if I have a twin. Do you have a twin, Doctor? You're teasing me, Doctor. But it was you. I saw you. No, there's been no dancing. I haven't been feeling that well, Doctor. He's the cute, sad-looking one, isn't he? He asked me out, and I said I'd let him know. Do you think I should go out with him?
Hold on, ask her if she knows Stanley. Alright, I'll ask her now. I can ask her any question. Sorry, I was making a drink.
Why are you asking me that? Don't know. Ask me something else.
She defended you then when I said, "Oh, you working for Nat?" She was just like, "I ain't saying no."
Doctor, I didn't take you for the jealous type. Are you feeling a bit jealous?
Yeah, hold it down.
You said it with such a serious look on your face, I almost believed you. It would be good if you had some kind of superpower that helped me, but I don't think so.
What should I tell her?
I know nothing.
I know nothing.
Well, maybe you should ask me out properly sometime. Just not today.
Amanda. Oh, she don't want to talk to me now.
I never saw Dr. Dekker touch a drop. Doesn't mean it wasn't going on behind closed doors, though, does it? Work is fine. If anything, I've been falling behind again.
I think it's the stress of not being alone in the midnight hour anymore. I stole a painting. There, I've said it. It was from the local gallery, Providence. I really like it, but I can't afford it. So I took it. It's just that one thing, just the painting I've stolen recently. I think my new pursuer is unraveling me. Is it okay to steal things, Doctor, if I really like them? I didn't expect you to say that. But I suppose they're just things I'm taking, not people. It's not like I'm stealing people. I saw Jessica across the street this morning. She waved, but I just crumbled. Ever since I took those photos, I haven't been able to face her. Do you think I should tell her about the photos, Doctor? Yes, you're right. I should tell her what I've done. Or at least let her have the photos. I don't think she's going to be very pleased. But I should be honest.
Is he Greenblood? Yes, this is Sir Greenblood. He sounds like it though, doesn't he? Like some guy of noble birth. Are you Sir Greenblood?
Ask me something else.
Are you of noble birth?
No. I don't know.
I do know. I'll put you in a headlock.
I'm fine. I'm worried. My pursuer in the hour, he's definitely military. I've developed a new skill to deal with him. My other doctor had prescribed me sleeping pills before I came to see Dr. Dekker. I think they were called temazepam. I never took them. Last night, I saw him draw something from his jacket. He was approaching me, grinning. I had nowhere to go. So I closed my eyes and imagined, well, I imagined being back home. And when I opened them again, I'd teleported. Yes, that's David Castleford. I have no idea when it was taken. Shocking composition. My pursuer, he's measured in his approach, watching, testing. When he finally came for me, I wasn't ready. I think he underestimated me though, and that allowed me to escape. He didn't think I'd be able to just
I really don't like your shit. It reminds me of a picnic.
Why do you think he's coming after me, Doctor? Oh, I think I might know. I think he's death, Doctor. I think I saved that old woman from burning to death in bed, and now he's coming after me to even the score. Do you think it could be death? Yes, perhaps it is death. I've done something good, and now I'm being punished for it. But why would it wait for me in the hour, though? Wouldn't it just come for me crossing the road?
Trophy called Slightly Mad as well.
I was as surprised as you are. I just imagined I was somewhere else, and there I was. Perhaps Dr. Dekker was right. Think of something, and it becomes real. if you believe in it. But I'll only do it wisely. Imagine the mistakes you might make. Don't want to become one with the igneous layer too soon.
When you're 18, you can come back. What is it with you two saying, take it personally?
No, I'm not becoming him. I'm not becoming Dekker. These sessions cost a lot of money, Doctor. I'm not just going to leave in the middle of one. But I can see you don't believe me.
Baby
Do you
Lando,
really
yes,
want me to
young
teleport,
Lando.
Doctor? Blink, and you'll miss it. Told you. No, Doctor. No, you can't. I've seen what you can do. You can listen and ask, but you don't have any real power. I was one of Dr. Dekker's first patients. I wasn't referred by anyone. My GP recommended I saw someone privately.
Yes,
I
baby
think he was
Lando.
just sick of listening to me complain about how little time I had
This is not a game for the
during our
faint-hearted children.
10-minute slot.
They don't want to hurt your fragile little mind.
Hilda died last night. On her own, heartbroken because she couldn't see her daughter. I feel terrible. I should never have listened to you. In our last session, you said that shifting was wrong, that I shouldn't shift for Hilda, that I should let her die without seeing her daughter. I'm such an idiot. I have this amazing gift and I didn't use it.
What should be killing these people and then gets
Dr.
murdered?
Dekker drank a bit. I mean, I didn't say anything about it, but well...
You have your girl back because I
it's not
got
very
Mariana
professional,
now.
is it? I mean, it's not like he was drunk. Must be very stressful being a therapist. Do you find it stressful, Doctor? I can tell just by looking at you. This job has really taken its toll on you. One of the other nurses found her. She went without anyone even noticing. I wasn't there. I phoned in sick. I knew that if I went into work, I'd want to shift. Most people have taken sleeping pills at some time or another, haven't they? It's probably quite easy to get hold of them. Although, I have to get a doctor to sign a prescription if I need any at work. It's probably the same for Jaya. I think of Dr. Dekker every time one of my patients dies. It makes me remember how he didn't care about his mum. He was a good therapist. He was a lousy
this your
son.
friend Dylan? Oh, Dylan, what? Are you friends with Dizzy Rascal?
I was angry at Dr. Dekker.
Dylan the villain from
Hilda's
around the way.
daughter, she's in Australia, so fair enough. Maybe she really couldn't get over to see her. But Dr. Dekker's mum was dying literally on the other side of town, and he just couldn't be bothered. I shifted for her, but in a way, I wish I hadn't, because it let Dr. Dekker off the
I didn't
hook.
even understand
No.
a word of that, Lando.
I didn't realise how little he cared until I told him the news. Jaya seems really nice. I don't know why she'd want to work in a place like this.
So, if I saw what?
I just mean, get all these weird people coming here. I mean, I've met some of them out in the waiting room. I know they're just people, but a couple of them have seriously given me the creeps. She's the slightly older one, isn't she? Always well dressed? Yes, her.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty good at picking up on people's energy and hers.
Why is he so dumb and pathetic? You have me intrigued now.
Actually, I think I sort of know her. Claire Castleford, isn't it? Apparently, she attacked her husband or something. You've never seen me angry, have you, Doctor? Don't say things like that when you don't mean them. It causes upset. What's the point of me having this amazing gift if I'm not going to use it? I've helped people with it. I know I have. I don't know why I let you tell me otherwise. At least I still have Amelia.
Hold on.
Yes, I told
When I
Dr.
did the
Dekker.
heist for him and
Most
Bumbles,
other
man like
people
Dylan
wouldn't
stood
believe
there and looked at
But he
us
did.
like he didn't
In
know how
fact,
to enter a helicopter.
He cared far more about
Ah, he's just
shifting
a
than he
fool,
did
is
about
he?
his mum dying.
Don't be carrying fools, guys. Wasting your time carrying a fool.
Harry hasn't been into work for a few days.
He has no idea about
I
GTA
hope
and he
there's
wants to
nothing
take
wrong with
lead
her.
on everything. Ah, so he's a fucking idiot then. Send him my
For a
way, I'll have a
moment,
little chat with him.
I thought he might cry. Just for a split second. But he didn't. He just carried on with our session.
Why has he got the game
I
then?
knew what went on there.
I know I wasn't
Jaya
that good at the
probably
game when I
knows.
was playing it, but
She
still.
spent
it's
quite a long time with
why
Sarah when
download a
she
game if you
visited.
don't even know how to play it? You're just wasting everyone else's time. And furthermore, like you play a game to enjoy it, that can't exactly be very enjoyable
Yes,
carrying this retard all
once.
the time.
I
When you
wanted
have
to show
constantly
him what I could do so
make sure
he
he's
could
okay.
see for himself. I took his hand, I told him to think of a loved one, and then there was nothing. I mean, literally nothing, just an empty void. The only thing I could feel was his hand holding mine. I'm pretty sure without that I'd have... I'm not sure I could have made it back.
You would have dissed him hard. Record it next time you do it.
I referred myself because of Dr. Dekker's mother. Was I supposed to have a letter? Terry and I are never going to be best friends, but I wouldn't wish her ill.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a seminar of it on Thursday. Don't know what yet. What did you say?
Amelia's Hilda's doll.
Man, I didn't try to take
She used to
lead.
have about
When he went to open
9
the
or
door,
10
he
of
stopped
them,
and looked at me and Bumbles and was like, "Dad,
glassy-eyed and creepy looking with
I don't know what
frilly
to
dresses
do."
and curls. All over her room they were. In the end, we had to get rid of them. They weren't very hygienic. But we let her keep one, and that was Amelia.
How old is he? Don't tell me he's like 12 or something, because I'm gonna feel bad.
I'm keeping her safe until I can pass her on to Hilda's daughter. Maybe she'll fly over for the funeral. I don't know. Are you okay, Doctor? You look a bit pale.
If you get the combination of alcohol and sleeping tablets just right, you can knock out an elephant. I have no idea what kind of animal Dr. Dekker was. Which reminds me, the truck driver died.
I don't know how you can forget to play GTA.
Well, at least you're being honest. Do you know that Dr. Dekker thought one of his patients was trying to kill him?
Was with you lot. I don't know. There is no hope for some people.
He told me in one of our sessions,
remember,
which was later rewound,
after the heist,
that someone had been
Dylan
leaving
had
in
some
messages
money.
on his prescription pad.
And it said,
Not good
buying a
messages.
presser MK2. Yeah, but to be fair, I didn't know what to buy in GTA. I had to ask Naps. Everything I bought in GTA over
He didn't
the
tell me
last,
anything specifically.
I don't know,
Just
6
death
months
threats.
of when I was
It was one of his
playing
many
it.
rants.
Everything I bought.
I just sat there
actually
quietly,
would do
hoping he
heist
wasn't going to
to
try and
Naps.
hypnotise me again.
What is worth me
I asked him
buying?
if it was a boy or a
Do you
girl's
know?
handwriting.
So if you don't know,
He said he
you
knew
don't
who it
know,
was,
But if you're
and that
going to
they'd
play
be in
GTA
trouble.
every day and you're going to try and be in control
he
and
was
telling
awful.
people what to do, then yeah, you're a fool. Yeah, he just sounds like an idiot.
It's funny how when somebody
If Dylan
dies,
plays
all
every
their bad
day,
traits
you'd
come
think
out.
he would know to
Yes.
buy an oppressor.
Dr. Dekker was a heavy drinker. He would often
He's
pour
probably just
himself
one
a
of them
glass
guys
during
who
one of our
watches like a
sessions.
YouTube video for like 20,
Pretty
30
rude.
minutes of like all the best things to do in GTA.
The truck driver
And then
that
just
ran
like
into
goes,
Hannah
oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this, I'm
He's
gonna do
divorced,
that, but
apparently.
doesn't actually have anything.
killed himself. He mixed sleeping pills with alcohol too. that he died in his garage. I read it in the paper. He'd been drinking. Then he took the sleeping pills. Then he went into his garage and put the hose pipe through his window. Not until he put his daughter in the seat first. It's one of those newspaper stories you read and you hope it says he leaves behind his wife and 7-year-old daughter. But his daughter was in the car. Do you know, I wrote him a letter. Dr. Dekker told me one of the ways to get through my grief would be to write a letter to the truck driver. I tried to forgive him. I know it was my fault, but the thing that made me feel best was blaming him. I think maybe he killed himself because of me. Do you think I'm to blame, Doctor? Maybe. Who knows what he was doing when he ran into Hannah?
He used a boat instead of submarine. He got bombs instead of blowtorch. He started at the top of the map instead of the tunnel. Guy's an idiot.
Ever since I saw a picture in the paper, I've started thinking I could see her. Out of the corner of my eye. Like she's watching me. Crazy, right? I can't really explain it, but she seems like such a friendly person. I think the police are barking up the wrong tree.
You couldn't even get past the airstrip because you kept getting caught. You seen this? I did that in on the 7th.
Please do. I wish I could believe you. I think I've probably said too much.
Called the BF.
It's probably not the same girl anyway.
Counterculture icon.
My solicitors assured me that I wouldn't have to discuss anything about my trial with you, so I'm not going to.
They also added in
Concentrate on my state of mind, and let me worry about other things.
Dylan trying to take off from the airstrip in a boat. Dylan's the type of guy, yeah, that eats cereal
I've never
with a
used
fork.
sleeping pills. I'm too afraid of what would happen to me in my sleep. There's no lake house today, sorry. David's not doing very well. He's caused a problem with the girl. I need to do something. The little girl, our neighbor at the lake house, she says David is weird and creepy.
Doctor! Oh, sorry. But I found some of the referral letters we were talking about. There is a pattern, but it's not the same for everyone. He said to get them to you ASAP, so here you go.
Got off the boat and had to run to the airstrip. Ah, okay.
David has been hunting and skinning again. But from the look of the torso, he caught a domestic cat. I'm being generous. It was definitely a cat. I spoke to David about it, but I have no idea if he can comprehend me or not. He just grunts at me.
Maybe she's
He doesn't even
helping you
smile
to
anymore.
cover.
Not at all.
Look, there was a bit earlier on in this where you wake up from a dream and she says to you, "This is all a dream," and it wasn't a dream, you were actually awake. And
Oh,
then
yes,
she
yeah.
had you tied up and was asking you questions about telekinesis and stuff. I think she's definitely
From a few
something
weeks
to do
ago.
with it.
As you can see,
Maybe
Doctor, he looks
It's
perfectly normal.
actually us, and this guy is just basically
David
nuts.
hasn't been well.
And these not just
Otherwise,
have
I'd taken you.
problems. Hence being a
Shall I bring
psychiatrist.
him to you next time?
Interesting story, actually. Very interesting story.
Yes, sorry. I left out an important detail. The girl, Anushka, she was crying because her cat had gone missing, and she thinks that David killed it. Doctor, I'm worried. I'm worried that David's not going to stop at cats. He's killed deer, rabbits, wild birds, and now cats.
I like these games, to be fair, investigation type games.
I'm worried he might add
They're very good brain
little
teasers. They're
girls
good to help you think.
to his list.
They're good at helping you
can't
assess
stop him.
people's emotions and assess people's motives.
If Dr. Dekker was an alcoholic, he hid it well. I never saw him drink. He certainly never offered me a drink. God knows I could have used one.
Just because he drinks, maybe
You still don't believe me, do you, Doctor?
No, I don't.
Then it's settled. I'll bring David to our next session. Though it will have to be just you here, and late at night. I can't have anybody else see him. I never talked to Bryce, but I did talk to Iris. She didn't want to at first. She blames me for David's death, but as we both know, that's not a thing. Anyway, she said she was never locked up in any basement and had never heard of any Dr. Dekker. So it's, as I first suspected, a
That's her
lie.
eyes. I don't like her eyes.
You didn't make all of that up, so I talked
She's
to
got
Iris
that look
again,
like
did
she
you?
would look through your soul. She's got a kind of 1950s sort of style as well.
That's despicable,
To her
Doctor.
swagger.
I think I'm starting to warm to you. I can't stop him. I can't control him in any way at all. Ever since I brought him back from the dead, he has done nothing but ignore me. I'm starting to think that...
Osgood swagger is the one.
that I need to put David out of his misery. That I need to end his suffering. That I need to kill him. Again.
Like,
What shall I do, Doctor?
so this woman is
Should I
insane.
kill
She stabbed
David?
her husband, killed her husband, and then because the doctor that she went to see told her that she could reanimate him back to life, she believes that she's brought him back to life, and now she's saying that she can kill him. So
I
I'm going
love
to tell
him
her
so
to kill him.
much. But you're right. It's time.
Thank you, man.
He's becoming a danger to people around him, not just himself. Dr. Dekker was very quiet in our sessions after seeing David. After a while, he started talking about David like he was a pet, asking me what I fed him, what he'd do in certain conditions. I think he was fascinated with it all, and David and I had become new test subjects for him. When I said David never listens to me, he urged me to start giving David treats for pleasing me. Not in that way, but showing him how to close a door, for example. If he did it, give him a treat. It did actually work, but I had to stop myself. I felt like I was training a monkey. It just wasn't right. That's an interesting idea, Doctor. It's not really something that needs to be done, though. I have no intention of reanimating anybody anymore. It hasn't gone very well in the past. My solicitors did refer me, but I ended up going privately as it was cheaper. I'm paying them enough already without them getting a percentage of my therapy bill.
Okay, this is going to be the very last question. And then that is going to be the end for today, as we would have essentially got to 2 hours in this stream. But thank you once again for watching another episode of G Engineers. Don't forget to subscribe. This game has been very interesting. I still don't have... Actually, before we go, who do you think did it? So we have a load of list of suspects here. Where's Mr. Furdo? Mr. Furdo.
Mr. Furdo will return in the next episode.
Yeah. Oh, that is iron cast to my face as well.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, you can see.
But yeah, anyways, I think it is me. It's me or it's Jaya. Some very suspect information.
Dr.
going on
Dekker
with these
asked me if I'd
questions that have
ever
been asked.
accidentally locked David in,
But I'm
which
going
I
to be back
hadn't.
this evening. I'm
But
going to play this again. And
curiosity
I
got the better
potentially
of
might
me,
be doing a
so
Warzone
I locked him
video
in the lake house.
with
Couldn't
Leech
get out.
and James, but I will let you know.
He didn't have
But
the
I'm definitely going
wherewithal
to be playing
to
this again
operate the
later on.
lock.
I'm going to jump on Twitter for a bit as I'm going to be uploading the trophies. Obviously, as I think we popped maybe 4 or 5 trophies today doing this. But I want to try and finish this game like by the end of the week, and then potentially get into maybe back into The Walking Dead. But anyways, I'll be back later this evening. I'll be back at 9:30. All right. If it's you, then round of applause. Yeah. Shout out to Naps, shout out to Lando, shout out to Jelio, shout out to Jake, shout out to Sharpnell, shout out to Stanley, shout out to Abster TV. Go and check out her new videos. I'll see you all very, very soon. Keep on smiling, have a lovely day, and never give up on yourselves.